Hi everyone, it's America here, and today I'm going to casually talk about artificial intelligence. And it's a bit obsolete. Yeah, it's not really obsolete, but it's still very relevant, but a bit too widely discussed, and at the same time debated, and slightly making it a bit platitude. But yeah, so why would I have this idea? It all goes back to the day when I read an article on the Beaverton, a Canadian online newspaper website. It's about artificial intelligence and about the growing consensus of the implementation of the artificial intelligence. And the article somewhat mentioned the possibility of making artificial intelligence, the robots, the ruler instead of human ourselves. So the article mentioned something very interesting reasons, and indeed I think it's true. So the first one would be the robots have less off-putting attributes of human, those defective defaults like inertia, like complacency, like selfishness, etc. And again, that's a bit sarcastic here. I would just read aloud I quote the articles saying, personality-wise, if I have to choose between Elon Musk and a robot, I'm kind of on the team robot. At least a robot isn't going to volunteer to get arrested for breaking social distancing. And that is true. I think robots, is setting a human can eliminate the humanity or the defects of humans, humanity away from the robots. It's seemingly true. I will discuss later on about this kind of feasibility and whether we can realize this kind of wishful thinking, I would say. So another thing would be the Me Too movement. There would be less sexual harassment. Of course, I think, because robots doesn't have sex, right? I mean, we use the pronoun it to describe it, right? It's not really that sex, right? So don't get me wrong, okay? And and another point would be there will be a more democratic process of implementation of policies, discussion of policies, decision making. More humane policies will be guaranteed, especially to the workforce. There will be more maternity leave, more holidays, more fringe benefits, better working environment, etc. And I would gladly take that if the benefits are true and will happen. But indeed I found some. I personally, I don't think it will be happening. It will not be ideal. It will not be this ideal in the future. And we are talking about the future. This kind of futuristic thing is hard to predict, and we can't really have a concrete solution or the concrete projections of what is going to happen in the future. So I'm just based on my wild guess, and if you don't agree, that's okay. So I think there are indeed numerous obstacles of this implementation of artificial intelligence widely, and even extend itself to the higher ruling position of the human. So firstly, being a ruler, or you can say for Hong Kong it's like chief executive or a president of a country, you have to gain recognition. There should be a guaranteed consensus of all citizens living in that area or living in that region, country, to agree on the use of artificial intelligence to be our ruler, to accept the truth, the fact that the ruler is actually our ruler, our chief executive, our president is actually a robot. And it's hard, right? Because everything, actually most of us would prefer human to rule us, right? We can't really accept our robots is not human. It's not even it's not our it's not from our nationalities. It's not even human. It's a robot. That doesn't make sense, right? So the second reason, alongside you have to gain consensus. The second reason, I would think that there's all of the benefits mentioned in the articles, like less off-putting attributes, less defects, less sexual harassment, and less more human, more democratic policies. These all solely depends on whether the elimination of humanity on the robots, right? But when you think carefully and deeply, investigate deeply, actually, what we are infusing, what we are inserting inside the artificial intelligence system, that so-called their brain, will be our knowledge, will be our idea, will be our human knowledge, something inside our human brain, right? And by making it a more generally accepted ruler, you should make the best way to do to ensure it will be making it perfect. And how to make it perfect will be inserting all of our human history, all of our human invention, all of our human knowledge into their brain, and granting them the ability to internalize and create and invent, right? So that's new and kind of mighty and potent knowledge will be created in their brain using the system of artificial intelligence, right? So that's the thing. That's how the thing we work, I guess. And here is the risk and problems. So we ground them the ability to think and create, to internalize, to think, and which means we are relinquishing our control on them. We are actually giving away our control and making them uncontrollable and insurmountable in a way that they will become the transcending species, and we have created something that will that will rule us as a genuine ruler, and it's not desirable. It's undesirable totally. That we will be inventing something that will replace us, replace our sovereignty, replace our superiority over other species. And yeah, that's a tragic to human, and that's the problem arise. just like the movie of artificial intelligence about, and we are at the point, we are at the scene, we are during the course of rising action, and at that point humans are struggling, are debating whether we should develop further the artificial intelligence. And in the future we will be rising climate section and falling action. There will be huge casualties that we have to put a lot of efforts to destroy, to eliminate something we have put a lot of effort to invent, to create. We have to destroy our invention. And yeah, that's the very tragic and problematic situation in the future, which makes us not to develop artificial intelligence further. And we should not make the artificial intelligence the ruler over us. Okay, so my point of view is we can develop artificial intelligence. That's a good thing. That's just like robots, just like machinery. It can help us in many perspectives, but in a way that we can control it. And how we can control it, probably we can develop a system about like a system that can shut down the function of the artificial intelligence, and and we have to make sure that the artificial intelligence do not know the existence of this kind of system, and it's the last resort we've got. And in the future, for catering for the increasing demand of scientific investigation and research and developments between countries, and as well as catering for the increasing degree of globalization, I think, exchanging material information, I think there's definitely a need for a establishment of international scientist federation, association, whatever, just sort of organization that facilitate the communication between scientists across the globe. And yeah, that's forms the fundamental base of for our further development of the humanity and human species, and this allows us to thrive and flourish in the future. And that's the end, and thank you.